So you just picked up this new game, Marvel Rivals, and now you're left wondering, well, who do I main? With 35 heroes to choose from, it can be kind of overwhelming. But I got you. In this video, I'll break down the best heroes for both beginners and advanced players, so you can start sucking less and winning more of your games. Alright, let's jump into it. We're going to start with the tanks. The first tank, Doctor Strange, has some of the most impactful abilities in the game, making him a powerhouse for team play. He excels at repositioning allies and controlling enemies, thanks to his incredible shield. But what makes him really stand out? He's one of the hardest hitting tanks in the game right now. You can melee between shots with him and deal some serious damage. His primary fire is a 5-round burst, each shot dealing 18 damage, totaling for 90 per burst if you land them all. Then one of his abilities, Maelstrom of Madness, which charges up dark magic as you deal damage. Every point of dark magic converts to 13 damage, totaling for 130 total damage if you get all 100. So if you combo that with a couple primary shots, you can easily delete squishies. For mobility, he has Cloak of Levitation, lifting him in the air to reposition or escape. Just be careful, if your shield is broken or on cooldown, you'll be a sitting duck. Now his portal is another game changer, letting teammates move and shoot through it, opening up for some insane plays. But be sure to use it properly, because if you use it in a bad time, it does have an insane cooldown. And finally, his ultimate, Eye of Agamotto, which rips souls out of the enemies around him. Now, what some people don't know about this ultimate is you can deal damage to both the body and the soul of the person. Meaning, if you have any heroes that do splash damage, you can do double the damage if you hit both the soul and the body. With all this, Doctor Strange is a high impact tank with tons of damage, mobility, and team utility. If you master him, you'll be a nightmare for your enemies. Kind of like this next tank, Magneto. If you're looking for a tank that can carry games, Magneto is one you need to master. He's an absolute game changer right now, and he is for sure the best solo tank in the game right now. His primary fire, Iron Volley, shoots an orb that deals splash damage, but for max impact, you want to hit direct hits, which deals 75 damage each. Then there's the Mag Cannon, a projectile that CCs enemies and deals damage based on your iron rings. These rings recharge automatically with Magneto, but you can speed it up with the next ability, which is called Iron Bulwark. I don't know why they called it that. It's kind of a weird name. But it's basically a shield that absorbs up to 300 damage over 3 seconds. The best part, for every 100 damage absorbed, you get 1 ring back. Meaning, if your shield takes the full hit, you get a fully charged mag cannon for some insane combos. On top of that, you can use it to negate ultimates, save a teammate that's about to die, or really anything like that. Now his ultimate, Meteor M, is one of the best in the game. Magneto spawns a massive meteor, increasing its damage over time as it absorbs projectiles, for throwing it for huge impact damage. If you use it correctly, this could land you multiple kills, and if you do it at the right time, you can even eat projectile ultimates like Iron Man, Punisher, or Star-Lord. Overall, Magneto is a beast of a tank that thrives in the current meta. Alright, now let's move on to the strategist. Adam Warlock is a support first, DPS second, but his healing is a bit limited compared to other supports. His primary fire shoots a projectile from his staff. You can also charge up a burst of 5 shots by holding his alternate fire. His main healing ability, Avatar Livestream, fires a 95 HP healing burst that can bounce to 2 nearby teammates, making it super useful for grouped up fights or keeping diving teammates alive. Then there's Soul Bond, which links your health pool with your teammates, meaning healing and damage are shared. This is huge if it's used before or during a fight. It makes healing easier, and it makes you way harder to kill for your enemies. Alright, now his ultimate, Karmic Revival. This might be one of the most misunderstood ults in the game, but if you use it right, it can completely flip a fight and maybe even a game. It resurrects any teammate within a 30-meter radius for 10 seconds, and anyone already dead when you cast it gets revived instantly. One key thing to remember, they respawn at the location of your ult, not where they died. So you can walk around and res everyone, and they'll automatically get rezzed at the location of your ult. And finally, Adam Warlock's passive. When he dies, he can essentially turn into like a ghost, allowing him to choose where he wants to revive himself. The cooldown is pretty long, so you don't want to waste it, and you can always just go back to the spawn room if you so choose. So Adam Warlock is a high skill, high reward support that can carry fights if you play him right. If you learn how to position his ultimates and time his abilities, he can be a for sure game changer for your team. Now, if Adam Warlock seems tricky, don't worry. Next up, we've got a support hero that's way easier to pick up. Jeff the Landshark is an impactful, easy to learn hero that when played right, he can seriously help your team win. His primary fire is a healing stream that heals 150 HP per second. This is a projectile, but it has a very long range and passes through teammates, making it amazing for grouped up fights. It's also great for healing dive heroes since you can keep them up from the backline without risking yourself. His secondary fire is a spitball that deals 25 damage, but honestly, you won't be using it very much. Only pull it out if you need to finish off an enemy or defend yourself when you get dived. Now, Jeff's first ability allows him to dive underground, giving him a 60% movement boost, a smaller shark fin hitbox, and even lets him climb walls. This is super useful for escaping fights or repositioning, but keep in mind you can't hold objectives while you are underground. Then there's his healing bubble, which pops whenever a teammate grabs it, healing whoever grabbed it 85 HP and giving them a healing boost for 4 seconds. It also grants them a movement boost and it knocks back nearby enemies, making it great for disengaging or saving team fights. Now for his ultimate, which I'm sure you all are familiar with if you've ever played Marvel Rivals. Jeff dives underground and swallows any enemies within its range. While swallowed, allies are healed and enemies take damage, and yeah, you can dive off the map with them, taking them straight to the respawn screen. If you don't want to go down with them, you can spit them out off the edge, but just be careful, heroes with movement abilities can escape that, and they will kill you. Jeff also has 2 team-up abilities, one with Luna Snow, which gives him frozen spitballs for 3 seconds, increasing damage and splash damage, and one with Groot, which lets him ride on his back, giving him a small damage reduction. Now the bottom line, Jeff is one of the easiest supports to pick up, but he's pretty strong, and if you play him right, you can for sure skew the game in your favor. Alright, now let's move on to everyone's favorite, the duelists. Right now, some of the best players in the world are maining Namor, and for good reason. He's one of the most dominant DPSs in the current meta. His primary weapon, a big-ass pitchfork that allows you to throw it like a projectile. Since it's a projectile, you need to lead your shots, and there is no damage fall-off, so you can snipe with this thing. However, it travels in an arc pattern, so you'll want to aim slightly higher if you want to land those critical hits. If you land a shot with his primary attack, it reduces the cooldown of his octopus buddy by about a second. Speaking of which, let's talk about his main ability, Aquatic Dominion. Namor can spawn a squid that fires 2 shots per second, dealing 17 damage each. These squids do have a damage fall-off range beyond 30 meters, so position them close to your target if you want max damage. Next, there's Wrath of the Seven Seas, which lets you mark a target. When you hit an enemy with this, all your squids immediately focus fire on them, which can melt enemies if you use it right. Then there's Blessing of the Deep, Namor's defensive ability. This surrounds him in a water bubble that blocks all damage from any attack, including ultimates. The cooldown on this is 15 seconds, so you want to use it wisely, but this can for sure save your life in some crucial moments. Now for his ultimate, Namor spawns a massive water whale, dealing 500 damage at the center circle and 200 damage at the edge of the circle. Something you may not know is it also disables movement abilities, meaning if an enemy is relying on mobility to escape, they're stuck, they can't use them. Namor also has his team-up ability with Luna Snow that spawns an even more powerful squid, dealing 25 damage per shot instead of 13. Since Luna Snow is one of the best supports in the game right now, you'll often see this combo in ranked play, and it's one you don't want to see on the other team. The best way to play him, Namor is a dive comp's worst nightmares. You can position your squids near your supports, so if the enemy dives in, they'll get pummeled immediately. You can also place squids in high spots to make them harder to shoot while giving them better sightlines, so they can really protect your supports. Overall, Namor is a high damage, high impact DPS that can shut down mobile heroes and punish dive comps. If you're looking to dominate fights, he's absolutely worth learning. Alright, for the final hero of the day, we've got a Call of Duty player's dream, the Punisher. If you like guns, and even more guns, this is the DPS for you. Punisher has 2 primary weapons, an AR and a shotgun. The AR melts enemies at range, especially if you're hitting headshots, making it perfect for taking down flying heroes like Iron Man and Storm. The shotgun, on the other hand, dominates in close quarters, so when you're up in the action, swap to it and annihilate anyone in your way. But that's just the start. He also has a deployable turret that can shred enemies if placed correctly. The turret has 600 HP and deals 24 damage per shot, but keep in mind, its projectiles are pretty slow, so you want to position it close to maximize its damage. Then there's his smoke grenade, which deals 45 damage on impact and knocks him back, making it great for repositioning. The smoke also triggers his passive, which lets him see through it so he can still shoot the enemy while they're smoked. His zipline ability is another unique tool. It stays in place once used, meaning you can chain multiple zip lines together to quickly move across the map. And if you jump at the end, you can even launch yourself even further. Now, it does take a little bit of practice to do that, so just practice in the practice range for a couple minutes, and you'll have this mastered. Now let's talk about his ultimate, and trust me, it's one of the deadliest in the game. Punisher whips out 2 miniguns, dealing insane damage while auto-firing homing rockets from his back. Now, you'll want to be careful using this because he is slowed while using it, and he doesn't gain any extra health. So make sure you have supports nearby before you pop it. He also has a team-up ability with Rocket Raccoon, where Rocket drops a beacon that gives Punisher unlimited ammo and an increased fire rate. And if timed right, this combo is absolutely busted, so keep an eye out for it. So Punisher is a hard-hitting, no-nonsense DPS that excels at melting flying heroes at range and destroying divers up close. If you're a Call of Duty style player looking for a gun-heavy character, he is for sure your guy. And that's the breakdown of the best heroes to start with Marvel Rivals. Which one are you maining? Let me know in the comments, and if this video helped, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more Marvel Rivals content. That's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan.